Hey, I'm Karen.
And this is Abby.
And welcome to Leadership Listens and Reads.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about BJ Fogg's book, Tiny Habits. And BJ Fogg is a behavior scientist at Stanford. And after spending many years studying habits and what's successful, what isn't, he's come up with a model that he talks about in his book. And I don't want to make his book sound too like sciencey or theory-y. It's actually really entertaining and there's really good examples throughout the book. Totally a worthwhile read. His basic concept around building habit is that in order to do a behavior, you need three components. You need a prompt, kind of something that triggers you to do the behavior. You need motivation at some level, and you need the ability to do the behavior. And the challenge is that most people try to focus on the motivation, right? So we try to get more motivated, hold ourselves accountable, and work harder to make ourselves do the behavior. And as most of us know, that's largely unsuccessful. So often what's easier is to increase the ability to do the behavior. So to make it easier, to break it down, to make it smaller, to start with much, much smaller pieces than what often even seem reasonable to us. So that's kind of the premise behind his work. There's a whole lot more to it than that. Highly recommend the book. I think it's super useful. I think we often put too much pressure on ourselves to build habits in really complex ways, right? Like, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna work out for 45 minutes. And in reality, starting much, much smaller than that. I mean, like obscenely tiny to the point that it seems ridiculous, but it turns out that's a more effective way to build habits. And again, you probably have all these questions like, well, then how do you scale it? And how do you actually make it something useful in your life? And all of that is covered in the book. Also on his website, he has right now a whole bunch of things about building habits during COVID that cover a variety of topics that might be useful to you and or people that you're working with, people that you're leading as folks are kind of continuing to struggle right through this difficult time, and often putting a lot of pressure on ourselves to do big things when maybe there's an opportunity to do really little things. I have a tiny spider coming off my hat. Creepy. All right, so that's what I have for you today. BJ Fogg, Tiny Habits. Buy it, borrow it, check it out from your local library, and give it a test.